Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Agents. I'm Andy Carl, and welcome to another Let's Talk right here on The Division. Today we're going to go over and just briefly talk about loot and how the loot is not raining down as it was previously, but it's still coming around, and there's still slight chances of you getting loot from random mobs in the roaming area. And so what I gotta say is that actually it might not even be the roaming area, it might just be special mobs that spawn, but it's really hard to say because I can't test it out because there's not a whole lot of mobs. And what I'd like to do, and to ask Ubisoft, is that you add more roaming mobs to the game. Because right now, once you finish the game and complete it, there's not a whole lot of mobs that come out and just spawn around the city. And it would be nice to actually have a little bit more population that you can go around and kill, since there's a lot more to do in the free roaming activities. And if there's more mobs to kill, there's more loot to go around. But I do like the way that the current loot is set up, and it's not that it's they're making it rain, it's that there is a slight chance of items dropping off of the appropriate enemies. So level 33s right now are dropping purple items, which is fine because you shouldn't be getting green gear sets off of red enemies. That's just absurd, and we all can agree, we all know that we want a ton of loot, but we don't want to go about getting it by just killing random mobs out in the street. Well, maybe some do. I mean, at that point, you might as well just put a box out in front of the boo and just fill it with whatever loot and just let people take it. I mean, that's really what it is, because you're going to get loot. They've increased the ways of getting loot. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of the ways that you can get loot. You can get loot from leveling up, which you get XP when you kill people, and that's a great way to do it. I mean, that you're going to get loot from that no matter what. There's going to be the supply drops, which right now I'm seeing pretty regularly, like almost like once or twice a month, like probably I would say not twice a month, but maybe once a week or something like that. So I have a feeling they're going to increase the loot drop of the supply drops to once or twice a week, and this is great because what you're going to see is that you're going to see me come to a supply drop that I just got, and there's going to be cleaners and LMB fighting over the supply drop. It's actually pretty cool. I didn't want to interfere, so I let them battle it out. But as you notice, there's a green that drops off one of the cleaners that I shoot, so there is a chance for greens to drop off of level 33 elite enemies, which that is appropriate. That is the appropriate response. High end and greens should be dropping off of level 33 elites. High end should be dropping off purples, or even with like a 5% chance of a green dropping off, maybe 10% for elites, and then reds, just the purple stuff. That's fine. I like that loot system, and it's giving us more loot. You're still getting loot. You're still getting loot by the truckload as opposed to before, because you can go around, you can farm all of the bosses in the light zone area. You can go around and just kill some of the trash mobs. If you go into the level 33 high end area where there's elites roaming around, you have a chance of high ends and greens dropping off of those. And when I refer to greens, I don't mean the bottom stuff, I mean the mint green that we see in the game right now as it is. And so there's those type of loots, and then you're going to get these sealed caches, and the sealed caches have a good chance of getting a high end and a even better chance of getting a mint green drop. Now, this is in addition to the fact that you can go ahead, and this is where people don't understand, because a lot of people just kind of glance over this in the PTS. You can go and buy supply caches from the guys, from the vendors, and there is a chance that there will be greens that drop out of these. I got two myself. I got two supply drops. Mint greens dropped out of both of them. So there's lots of chances for loot. It doesn't need to be making it rain across the world and greens off of every single red enemy and stuff like that. In all honesty, you guys it's a little bit blown out of proportion. I understand you guys want loot. You want it in the fastest amount of time, but it's just not dropping fast enough for you. But there are, what you're not seeing is that there are other ways to get loot in the game other than that, and you're going to get a lot more when you're doing underground. I'm not doing a whole lot of underground because I want to know what the core mechanic of the game is. Sure, underground's all fine and dandy. I want to know what the core mechanic of the game is, because that is where you're going to get the loot from, and what's going to really bring you back is to, you're not going to do the underground over and over again. It gets repetitive and stuff like that, and you're going to go up there, you're going to go out for the HVTs. Those are another source of loot. You're going to get a lot of loot from those. There's plenty of places to get loot. You can even go in the dark zone and get your loot, but that is, that really is for just the PvPers. So leave that to the PvPers. If you don't want to go into the dark zone, you don't have to. It's just, it's another area for you to explore if you really want to go in there. It's not something that they're forcing you to go in there and do anymore. So there is a lot of loot that you can actually go and get from the area outside. There's going to be loot in the boo. There's going to be boxes of loot. There's going to be other stuff. There's going to be trash mobs that you can get it from. There's going to be roaming bosses. There's going to be caches that you can buy from the vendors. There's lots of loot out there for you to get. You just have to know all of the places to get it. So that is the main thing that I want to tell everybody. I think right now, the way the loot is set up, plus you're going to get it, from all of the bosses when you go into the mission. You're going to get a chance for green, you're going to get a chance for high ends and all of that stuff. So that's really what I want to say. I want to at least give you the option of going. You're going to see lots of loot. The only thing that I don't agree with is that there's not a lot of loot dropping off, guys, in the actual missions. Like it seems like there's loot tables for different missions and different events. Like the loot tables for the guys who are roaming around outside just regularly seems to be a higher chance for a drop than guys in the mission. Like I'm not seeing a whole lot of high-end stuff dropping in the mission. I'm seeing maybe 5 dropping in the missions, like per run, like a 5 high-end run, and you'll get a green off the last guy from a challenge mission, and that's really what it is. And so there's lots of stuff that you can do, lots of ways to get loot, and that's really what I'm trying to emphasize here. Maybe they should increase it just a little bit. Also, let's quickly talk about ammo capacity. And as you notice, like they dropped the ammo capacity down, and I want to show you something really quick. I have one item. It has a 52% increase to ammo capacity, and it's brought me up to a level that is pretty much doable for a lot of this stuff. 52%, that's not a lot of ammo, but it's on one single item. You can actually get a ton of ammo. That's where a lot of people don't really understand, is that the ammo capacity has been dropped back down, but there are chances for you to roll ammo capacity on 3 or 4 different items, and it's not a small chunk like 10% or 13% or 20%. It's like 50% per item. So you can get like a max of 200% ammo capacity if you really want to, and that's really up to you. They've given you the choice. Massive is giving you the choice to go ahead and increase the ammo capacity, and giving you the choice to do it in lieu of something else, in lieu of another perk. And for those of you who really don't like the way the ammo capacity is going, you have the choice to go ahead and raise your own ammo capacity. That is up to you. I was fortunate enough to not have to re-roll it, but you can go to the calibration station and you can re-roll ammo capacity on, like, I don't remember what it is. It's like 3 different things, but you can get a ton of ammo capacity plus the Lone Star ammo capacity, and there's always other ways to get ammo capacity up. But you really, like, I've noticed that even with 1,200 rounds in my assault rifle and 1,400 rounds in my LMG, the only time that I've ever really ran out of ammo is when I'm running challenge missions solo. So you should not have to run out of ammo. There should be plenty of ammo in your reserves, and if you do run out of ammo and you find yourself running out of ammo a lot, go ahead and keep a spare ammo, spare rifle or a spare, something spare on you. There's definitely a lot of guns. I keep a spare sniper rifle or marksman's rifle for you out there. It's really easy to do, and you keep a gun like an SMG or something like that as a backup, and you'll never run out of ammo. There is plenty of opportunities to keep your ammo and then restock. The one thing I do want to ask is that they actually put ammo drops in the underground off of enemies that die. That is the one thing that's irked me ever since the underground came out, is there is no ammo drops for those guys, and that's really to the detriment of them, because that's why people are mad about ammo drops, is because they're not dropping. There's no ammo, 0 ammo dropping off of the guys in the underground, and I still think that that's a bug that they need to fix. That's just the way it is. There should be ammo in the underground. The guys have it. I mean, they're shooting unlimitedly. The enemies aren't running out of ammo for sure. That's just ridiculous. Like, have you ever seen an enemy run out of ammo? No, they have an unlimited supply. It's an NPC. They have 5,000 grenades. They have 20,000 rounds of ammo. They're just going around killing people. That's all they're doing. and that's just what it is. They're doing that. So anyways, that's my time. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this. I just want to make sure that you guys are being informed as to all the information that you have for the PTS. I know a lot of you aren't on the PTS, and I know a lot of you are looking at this patch to save the game, and so I want to make sure that you guys have all of the information that you could possibly get, and make sure that you understand what is out there, the options that are there, and that it's not just all this doom and gloom that people are saying and being like, there's no loot, there's no ammo. It's there. You just have to be able to work for it, and you have to adjust yourself. It's just like the armor. I've very rarely heard anybody complain about the armor and the health, and that is probably one of the biggest things that's going to change how people play this game. Is they've dropped the armor down significantly. You have to choose between armor or something else, or firepower or DPS. Right now I'm running like 30% armor mitigation because I have high DPS and I have high skill, and it's a trade-off. You have to pick your classes wisely, and there's no more maxing out your armor. There's no more with stamina and getting a super high toughness. That's just the way it is. That's how it's rolling right now. You guys need to, I think, and that might be my video tomorrow. I might do that just so you guys understand the full ramifications of where armor is, where armor mitigation is, versus where DPS is versus where skill is, because you're gonna have to make that hard choice as to what you want to roll in. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like on it, and please consider subscribing to our channel. We do Division content, we're doing Battlefield content, we're doing Gears of War content, we're doing lots of other content. I'm probably gonna have a Mafia 3 here up pretty soon, and that's pretty much it. So thank you all for watching, and for all of us here at the Division Let's Talk, I am Mounty Carl, and we'll see you again in the PTS. Agent out.